About 400 delegates are expected to gather at the Gallagher Convention Centre in Midrand for day 2 of the Water and Sanitation Summit. The Water and Sanitation Minister, Senzo Mchunu, has gathered the delegates, including some water experts and government officials, for the 2-day event. It follows the minister's working visit to 9 provinces to assess the state of water and sanitation. According to the department, as of 2018, more than 3 million South Africans lacked access to a basic water supply, and more than 14 South Africans lacked access to safe sanitation. The summit is expected to produce a comprehensive plan to help deal with the issues of water. Our reporter Katlego Legodi is attending the water summit for us and joins us live. Katlego, very good morning today. Today marks the final day of the event, and it happens as several parts of the country are experiencing water shortages and taps have run dry.
Most definitely, so you can imagine the importance of this event taking place here at the Gallagher Convention Centre, where officials have gathered to just converge and gather ideas and come up with well-needed solutions that are expected to be immediate solutions, some of them, to the challenges of water and sanitation on the ground. This coming, of course, at the back of the minister that has been hard at work, Minister Senzo Mchunu, the Water and Sanitation Minister, visiting those provinces and meeting with stakeholders in the water fraternity to try and understand, their need and try and understand as well where the gaps are in the system in terms of the provision of water. So in 2018, that number being at about 3 million, citizens on the ground that are in need of access to water. So you can imagine since then that the numbers have probably doubled. And the minister and this event here on the ground today is meant to come up with solutions to provide answers for those, well-needed interventions and the plight of residents on the ground. But I'm going to be inviting into the conversation now the Water and Sanitation spokesperson, that being Mr. Sputnik Ratau, who'll just let us in on, what is expected on day 2, as also we keep track of what happened on day 1 and the solutions that are meant to be proposed here where issues of water and sanitation are concerned. So thank you very much for joining us on Newsroom 405. Maybe let's just, take a step back and reflect on what happened on day 1 as we throw forward to the all-important day 2, which is today.
Day 1 basically was about the introduction of why we are here. And the plenary was very brief in that it was just Minister outlining why we had to meet, why he invited his colleagues, his cabinet colleagues, who came in not just to support, but to participate in the sessions, because the ministers that were here also were responsible to be, the guiding light in those sessions that were looking at matters that related to themselves and the portfolios they are responsible for. Where Minister Didiza was looking at the matters of agriculture, land reform, the impact of water on that sector. Minister Dlamini Zuma was looking at the issues of cooperative governance. We know that municipalities struggle, but we're looking at how we can be able to enhance capacity within municipalities in order to take forward the issues of service delivery. Minister Kubai was looking at the matters around human settlements, the difficulties of human settlements as we have them now, with informal settlements, the impact on water courses, and so on and so forth. How do we then ensure that going forward, human settlements will also take into consideration what we need to do as government to be able to look at where, we do not have negative impacts on water courses, but we also are able to provide, even for those people in the informal settlements, the basic services that they require. Obviously working hand in hand with cooperative governance, working hand in hand with provincial government as well as local government.
The minister has visited about 9 provinces in trying to ascertain the challenges on the ground. Are you able to share with us, some of those issues that were raised by community members on the ground that are battling where issues of water and sanitation are concerned?
When we concluded the visit to the 6th province already, Minister could be able to see commonalities, emanating from those visits of the challenges that they face. And based on that, then that was when the decision was made to say, let us come together as a nation and try and find solutions to the basic common challenges that we see in terms of delivery of water and sanitation. And therefore, that is where this, the idea of the summit emanated from. And basically, those challenges would be your aging infrastructure, which in essence, you would find that it is no longer able to carry the population that it is serving at the time, because it was meant for a smaller population, as well as not that number of developments that would have come in. It would be the issue of capacity of municipalities. You're looking at technical capacity. You're looking at as well capacity to be able to spend the money that comes into municipalities. Remember, there are grants that come into municipalities running into billions of rands. And you know, the capacity to spend that money on the matters that they are meant to be spent on, but as well as to make sure that none of that money reverts back to national treasury, because at the end of the financial cycle it was not spent. You look at the issue of technical capacity, where a lot of municipalities only have technicians. Those technicians are not capable to look at the issues of operations and maintenance of the infrastructure that is required and needed to be able to deliver on an ongoing basis. But you also remember that we need to have ongoing infrastructure development to those areas that are unserved, those areas with dense populations, those areas that have not been served because they are in the far-flung areas. But Minister is saying, and his cabinet colleagues agree, that no one must be left out of the services that are basic and that are also within the constitutional rights of the people of South Africa.
So let's throw forward then to day 2 and the final day. What can we expect to come out of this day?
Today, what is envisaged is that the sessions that, for a lack of a better way, the commissions that we're looking at the different aspects will then come back to plenary and give reports to say these are the conclusions that we came to as a commission, these are the recommendations, these are the ways forward that we are saying we should be able to these are the steps forward that we are saying we should be able to be taken as we go forward. But then, obviously, in plenary, some of those issues will be looked into in a little more detail, just so that when people live here, there are timelines, there are specific plans, there are specific ideas as to who does what with who. Remember that this is not just government that is here. You have private sector, you have the civil society. So we need to look at all those partnerships and say, out of this, what is the partnership that is taking South Africa forward in relation to these matters? Obviously, working together and pulling together. Remember that as well, it is a given that government cannot be able to fund these services as well from the fiscus only. So the inclusion of private sector funding is going to be something that is critical.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Well, Mpho, that is Sputnik Ratau. That is Sputnik Ratau is the spokesperson for the Department of Water and Sanitation, just laying out what can be expected throughout the day and also touching on what came out from yesterday. But I must say, delegates have already started arriving here for the all-important final day of the Water and Sanitation Summit, where some of those solutions are expected to be snap solutions that would see interventions into those municipalities and those areas that are in dire need of intervention from the Department of Water and Sanitation. Of course, consolidated work with the ministers that are also here on the ground that will also give inputs when that time comes in terms of the solutions that were raised from yesterday's sessions going into today. So it's back to you in studio, Mpho.
Very well, Katlego Legodi. Let's leave it there for now, as of course those are solutions which are much needed, especially as we consider the number of areas within the country that are without water this morning and for most parts of the day.